You're locked in to the hottest station on the planet.
Resistance is futile. The revolution has begun.
You're listening to Rebelpreneur Radio, helping you break the rules and build the business you need for the life you want. And now, broadcasting his pirate signal
from somewhere beyond the status quo,
here's your host, best-selling author, marketing and media strategist, Ralph Brogden.
Hello and welcome to Rebelpreneur Radio. It's the show that helps you build the business you need so you can live the life you want. I'm Ralph Brogden. When is the best time to start your business? Well, the best time was 10 years ago, 5 years ago. The next best time is right now. And if you're saying, well, I'm busy, I've got all these things going on, then really what you need to learn how to do is to organize and prioritize around the things that are going to help you live a more intentional life, because there's never a good time to start a business. And it's a lot like having kids. When you say we'll have kids when we can afford them, if you say that, and if you think that, you'll never have kids. But guess what? When you just begin to have a kid, whether it's planned or unplanned, then you figure out a way to pay for it. And that's kind of the way I think a business launches when you follow your heart and you put yourself out there and you start your business. You may not have the luxury of being able to hustle and grind on that business full time to start with, but you take what you can get. And so it's really learning how to organize around your priorities. What's the priority in your life? What's the priority in your business? And the focus of our show is how can you create the business you need to deliver the life that you want? So it's a nice blend of both. Today's guest can really help you to organize and prioritize your time so that you can live a more intentional life and build your business. Her name is Ceri Payne. She is a certified life coach that grew her business while being a mom to 3 daughters and teaching school full time. She coaches entrepreneurs to organize, schedule, and use their time with purpose and intention so they can grow their business without sacrificing health, sleep, or relationships. Ceri, welcome to Rebelpreneur Radio.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's such a pleasure to have you because I think this is really something that touches a lot of people when they say, well, you know, when the kids are grown or when I'm not doing this, then I'll really start thinking about my business, because they don't think that they're able to do both things at once. But you actually built your business while you were a mom to 3 daughters, teaching school full time, and you're coaching other entrepreneurs to show them how they can better organize their time around their priorities. So I think that's really fascinating. How did you get started doing this? What's your story?
So kind of basically it starts with what you said. I was a wife and a mom to 3 girls. And as my husband and I got married in our first 16 years of marriage, we moved over 18 times so that he could expand his career, and he sought out his opportunities. And I followed him happily. But I enjoyed my mom role, but I also just felt like I wanted more. I wanted to do more, and I just had this desire that there could be more out there and that I could still be an incredible mom. So naturally, my role went towards just community happenings, community involvement, church activity, and then that didn't really fulfill it. And so I taught special education before I had kids. So then I went back to school and I started teaching again, and I did that for 8 years. And of course, I loved it, but then I just felt like there was more for me, more out there. So then, as you said, I became a certified weight and life coach, and I started my business while doing all of the mom things and all of the coaching and all of the teacher stuff. And at that time, a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of other coach colleagues were noticing that I was able to balance a successful business as well as with my mommyhood and supporting my husband in his busy career. And as well, previously, about 6 years ago, I lost 120 pounds. So I was able to even keep that off while doing all of this together. And that's when I just decided, you know what, this is my strength, is to streamline, to use time with intention and maximize like our schedules and efficiency. So that's how I got started. I just began sharing my mindset of there's always enough time and my processes of streamlining, organization, and scheduling. And I started just helping other business owners do what I did. And that's kind of how I got started.
Very incredible. And especially when you consider that most people cannot really be a success in more than one area. If they're really brilliant at business, their home life is falling apart. If they are really good at money, maybe they're really bad at relationships. Or if they're really great at relationships, maybe their physical health is falling apart. It's really tough, and there's no judgment here, but it's really tough to do what you have done, Ceri, to be able to balance success in all of these different areas. Whether you and I don't know your take on work-life balance. Some people have suggested there is no such thing, and it's more about blending, or it's more about just being fully present in each moment. And I don't know what the answer is, but you seem to have cracked the code. So tell us a little bit more about what you do and who are the people that you help.
Okay, so what I noticed, like as you said, the biggest problem that my clients have is like that lack of time or finding the balance that makes them feel fulfilled at the end of each day. And I don't know like necessarily that it's a 50-50 balance, but what you want is at the end of the day to feel balanced. So we get to decide what that feels like, whether it's 70-30 or 20-80, but you want to be able to have that balance. So like I said, they come with a lack of time. They feel like and that lack of time just makes them feel like there's a lack of confidence in themselves and in the process and in their abilities to be able to do all the things they want to do, whether it's grow a business and be an entrepreneur and be a mom, or be full-time in the work sector and kind of have a side gig, but they don't have that confidence because they have that belief there isn't enough time. And that lack of confidence actually shows up in them as like not keeping their commitments to themselves, not scheduling at all, but some people are scheduling, but then they don't keep their commitment to their schedule, or they maybe second guess that desire that they have, like, oh, I shouldn't do it, or maybe I'm not cut out to do it. And then that wastes their time too, second guessing it. And a lot of times when they come to me, they don't realize that their commitment to whatever it is they want to do isn't 100%. They like have this goal, like I want to grow a business, or I want to write a blog, or I want to be a successful life coach, or whatever it is that they want to do. So they have this big goal, but they don't really have a mapped out game plan on how to grow their business or how that's going to look like for them in their current life. Because it's going to look differently for everyone, but we start to maybe compare how other people are doing it, and that's really a big problem. And so then just realizing it's going to look different for everyone based off what your priorities really are for you. Right.
Now, I've heard you say a couple of times, I think, that there is plenty of time. Is that how you've been saying that?
Well, there's just always enough time. There's enough time to do whatever you want to do to create opportunities. That's just kind of my mindset. I've always felt that way. And so I think that is the biggest mindset. And most people don't have confidence or belief that there is enough time.
Yeah, I could see where that would be kind of an issue. We all have the same amount of time, 24 hours in a day. So, the old thing that you have no more or less time than the president of the United States. I've always said, yeah, but the president of the United States, he has all of these people working for him, right? So he's got all this help. He doesn't even have to write his own speeches. So how do we, right? How do we take this philosophy? And I realize it is kind of a mind shift that has to happen here, to go from there just isn't enough time in the day to go to a more, I guess it's more like looking at it from a place of abundance. There's plenty of time to do the things that I want to do. Is that how it works?
Yeah, and I think that key word is like what I want to do. And so what I do with my clients is I take them through a process. First of all, I remind them it takes time to create time. And so, of course, that's not a new concept. We've heard it before, but it's that intentional act of like daily scheduling, and many people aren't doing that. So if you schedule time to schedule your time, so you take that minute, whether it be on a Sunday night or a Monday morning, it doesn't really matter. But what you want to do is go through and schedule out your day. That's what's going to make all the difference. And when you do that, you'll be able to find more time in your day that you didn't think you had. You get more done. You get more accomplished every week. You actually stop wasting time wondering like, oh, what activity can I take out? Or should I really do this? Or can I not make dinner? Or should I stay late? We have all of that brain. What should I do? That indecision, that wastes time. And then when you don't have a schedule or you don't have a goal of what you want to accomplish every day, you don't feel very satisfied at the end of the day. And so what clients do is they start working with me and we start planning time. But the main thing is based off your priorities. So that's why I said when you said, what do you want to do? So what is it that you prioritize? Because if it's not a priority for you, then it doesn't usually get done. And then you just kind of feel bad or you feel defeated because you're not able to accomplish, quote unquote, everything. But maybe those are the things you should be eliminating from your day because they're not important to you or they're not your priority.
Very interesting. And well, that leads me to the next question of why is this such a big problem? Because it sounds so simple, right? Schedule your stuff, prioritize what's important, get rid of the stuff that's not. It sounds so easy. And maybe it's just the way you're putting it because you're so good and so confident at what you do. And it sounds great in the moment. And we're listening to it and going, yeah. But why is it that it's such a struggle for people to schedule in advance and to prioritize what is important to them?
So what I have found so the first thing I do when I work with my clients is I ask them to list out their top 5 priorities. So I encourage the listeners to do that as well and list those out, determine why you think those are your top 5 priorities in your life, and then really why, like hone into that why, because the why is very important. So you don't want to skip that. So for example, you may say health or relationships, business, your mom role, your wife, spirituality, home organization, happiness, whatever those are for you, figure those out, figure out your why. And then here's the trick. I want you to write down then the next 5, the top 5 ways that you spend your time each day. And this is where the disconnect sometimes happens. When you compare what you think your priorities are with how you spend your time, they often don't align. And that's when you start to question, is it really a priority or is it just something I think I should be doing, but I'm not really doing it? So many of my clients, they put a top 5 priorities, like maybe building their business or working on their business. But then when they say how they're doing their time every day, spending time in their business or working on their business isn't anything that they put for how they spend their day. So of course they're confused, they're overwhelmed, they feel very hopeless because their business isn't growing, but it's because they're not even spending enough time on it every day. And the same thing goes with like health. A lot of times people have health as like a goal, whatever that may look like for them, either to lose weight or, intentional movement. But then as they see how they spend their time, that priority of like working on intentional health, whatever that may look like for them, it's not even on their schedule. So once you figure out your top 5 priorities, you understand, then you can say, okay, how am I really spending my time? Do they really align? And if they're not, then you can question, why am I doing this activity? Or why am I really spending time in this area? Because it maybe isn't that important to me.
That is so powerful because what it does is it points out the discrepancy between belief and behavior. And it shows some cognitive dissonance. We could sit here and say, oh yeah, my marriage or my family is the most important thing. It's the most valuable thing. Okay. Well, if we just took that at face value and began to operate under that assumption, we would miss something very critical here. And that is the other half of your success formula here. How do you actually spend your time? So you could say, yeah, family's my most important priority. How much time do you spend with your family? Oh, well, I just get so busy and I go do this, I go do that, and I don't have time. Is that where a lot of the disconnect comes from? Because we're not in alignment with what our values are.
Right. And so then at the end of the day, you feel shame or guilt for not doing one or the other. So like if you wanted to build your business, but then you didn't work on it, you're feeling shame and guilt and overwhelmed because you were with your kids and not building your business. And then the same is true for the opposite. If you wanted to spend more time with your family, but you spent it most of your day working on your business, then at the end of the day, you still feel shame, overwhelm, and guilt. And so then that's the biggest time waster we have, is to feel shame and overwhelm or to feel guilty for doing it. So if you intentionally schedule, this is family time, this is work time, this is, whatever those priorities are, and this is what it looks like to accomplish, what does it look like to focus on your family? What does that mean for you that day? Then you get to feel satisfied at the end of every day because you kind of have that goal and that target of your game plan. And that really is, then you don't have that disconnect of, oh, I didn't really do anything today, or I didn't do anything important, because you knew exactly what you wanted to accomplish and you were able to get it done. So even if it isn't 24 hours a day, in one area, you still feel satisfied that you've got little blurps of everything you wanted to do because you were intentional with what that meant to work in your business and what it means to, have a clean home for you and what it means to spend time for you with your family.
I really love that approach. Something else you said, Ceri, that was really important that I want to circle back around to, and it's this idea of scheduling and scheduling in advance what we're going to do. And what I have found is I'm more productive scheduling things in advance as opposed to just walking into a situation, walking into the office, sitting down and trying to think about, what am I going to work on? What should I be doing right now? If I wait until the time that I have set aside to actually work on things, if I use that time to try and decide what to work on, that's incredibly unproductive. I need to make that decision before I ever get to that place so that I can separate out scheduling and planning and prioritizing and creating my values and what's important, what am I going to focus on, make those decisions in advance. And then when I go to work or when I'm with my family or whatever I've set aside, I know exactly what I'm doing because it's already predetermined. And that I have found has been really, really important for helping me to be more productive.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, and you really even schedule like a result. So it's like if you say, okay, from 10 to 12, I'm going to work on my business. But what does that mean? Like I'm going to write an Instagram post, or I'm going to write an email to my followers, or I'm going to, send out 8 messages to be on podcasts, or whatever it is. It's like result focused. So not just work on your business.
That's too general. So when you just say, oh, I'm going to work on my business. And so, okay, all right, so it's 10 o'clock. I've got 4 hours to, quote, work on my business. And then I spend 3.5 hours trying to figure out what that means.
What that means for you that day. And then you don't feel satisfied and you're like, well, what the crap did I just get done? Right. And you just don't. But if you have results and ahead of time intentionally what that means, then you get to have the opportunity to just feel like you nailed it, that you completed that because you planned from the results and not just from a, generic work on my business or spend time with my family.
I think that is worth the whole episode right there. Just to take away that little thing is to get specific. When you say work on my business, spend time with my family, self-care, you write these big blocks on your calendar and you have no idea because you haven't thought through all the way down to the result. What exactly am I out to achieve in this block of time that I've set together? And if you can drill down to the result that you're after and get very specific by what you mean by work on my business or spend time with kids or whatever it is, then when you're in the moment, you are incredibly productive as opposed to wondering what you should be doing. And I think for me also, doing that and knowing that there is a time and a place for everything that I want to do this week, it makes it easier for me to be in the moment working on my business with specific things and not be wondering or worrying that, I'm working on my business right now, but I should really be spending time with my family. And then you're with your family and you're thinking, well, I really should be working on my business right now. And so you're never in the moment. And that's one of the things I think that scheduling things and prioritizing them the way you suggest, Ceri, will help people from becoming overwhelmed and unfocused in the moment.
Right. And will allow them to feel more satisfaction at the end of whatever that activity was, because it's exactly what they were focusing on and wanting to do. So they wanted to accomplish that thing. They were there. So then having more satisfaction is what keeps you going in your long-term goals. So if you can spend your day in feeling satisfied rather than overwhelmed, you're going to continue doing what you want to do.
Excellent. So this sounds easy, but in actual practice, it may be hard for people to do this in terms of a self-help process without some kind of accountability. How would working with someone like you really improve their chances for success as opposed to trying to figure it out?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, they think they don't have time. And so a lot of it is just working on their mindset and their confidence that is truly something that can be created and something that they can find and build for themselves. A lot of times my clients come to me either right before they want to throw in the towel and they want to just give up and they think it's been a dumb idea. And really they don't realize they already have given up when they're in that state, or they come to me I want more, I want a desire to grow a business, but they don't have confidence. They feel scared to do it. And so then they start to compare themselves to maybe other moms that are able to do it or other business owners that are able to do it. And then, as you know, the comparison is that biggest time waster that we could possibly indulge in because we don't feel like we have the ability to do everything that everybody else gets to do. And so as they start to work with someone, just the simple practice of figuring out your priorities, developing your schedules for what you really value, for what you want to do, that opens up your mental clarity and your vision. And then it opens up possibilities for you. You can start to see, possibilities versus the probability of why it couldn't work. Then time opens up for you. And so then the path becomes very defined. You start to have a little glimmer of hope that it's possible. And as you find time, you gain hope in the process, you gain your confidence, and then you begin to be super excited about your life and excited about your business and growing it rather than living in a lot of overwhelm. And so then you start to see what's truly possible for you in order to do that. And you get more done each day and you set your goals and you stay committed. And really that is where working with a coach helps you to just work smarter and not harder and work from confidence and belief.
That sounds wonderful. And so you can help them. Sounds like you can really help them create the momentum that they're looking for and can really begin to snowball this success in the right direction. Ceri, what are you working on right now that's got you really excited that you'd like to share with our listeners?
Well, currently I have it developed and I'm just working on allowing more people the opportunity to learn and grow with me. But it's a 12-week one-on-one coaching package that I offer. And I actually offer two. So one is called Organized University, but it's YOU. So of an Organized U University. And another one is called Better University. So both of these coaching packages that I am just enrolling people in and tweaking and fine tuning as I see my clients get so much success. But they are both tailored for that working mompreneur or that working woman or so someone that's trying to grow a business and be a mom or grow a business and already have a full-time job. It helps them create time and schedule structure, as I've mentioned, and it allows them to just grow their business and grow their mommyhood and grow all the roles that they have without feeling overwhelmed and overscheduled. And a lot of times we feel we're underpaid because it feels fruitless for what we're doing and all the time we're spending. And we just build confidence in our abilities and our roles. And then, so they're both very similar, but the Better University, as I mentioned before, because I did do all that while I kept my 120-pound weight loss off, it throws in kind of a healthy you. So it's a better you, you're organized, but we do throw in some elements of a healthy you, whatever that looks like for you, just so that you can streamline and be the best version of yourself. Because if you would like to be a little more confident, or you're not super awesome with your body size or your body shape and you want to develop that confidence or lose the weight, that might be keeping you from contributing and putting yourself out there. And so it's just the perfect package to mix all the organization and your body, image, whatever that is, looks like for you, how being healthy is, and allows you to focus on all of that so that you can clear the clutter, your mental and physical clutter, to help you get the results you like. And I always like to say my tagline is to help you do that without sacrificing your health, your sleep, or your relationships. Because I'm not a crazy get up super early or stay up super late. It can be done within normal hours.
Well, that really sounds encouraging. So if our listeners want to take advantage and find out more about those programs, how should they reach out to you?
A couple of ways. They can always email me. It's Ceri, but it's spelled differently. It's CERI @organizedlife.coach, or they can follow me on Instagram. It's Organized Life with an ED, so Organized Life. And there they can just see my philosophy, reach out. There's links there to schedule. I offer free complimentary first-time sessions, so we can just kind of figure out what's keeping you stuck, and you can walk away with a game plan to help you figure out what you can be doing next to be more successful in whatever role you're trying to develop in life.
Excellent. Well, that sounds really like really good, practical, wise advice that has worked for you, and so it will work for others if they will take advantage of it. Ceri, this has really been wonderful. Any final thoughts or words of wisdom you'd like to leave us with?
That's a great question. Let me think. I think one thing is just the mindset is super important. I think the best investment that you can do is on your mind. And so lots of us think that sometimes that means taking classes or attending seminars or learning these scheduling organizational techniques, which are all super powerful and all super helpful if you actually will implement them. So if your mind is on board and your mind believes it, then those things are very helpful. But if not, sometimes working with a coach to help you see, like, what's the story you're telling yourself, right? It's too much time, or your kids are too little, or the Instagram algorithm is not awesome. You're telling yourself a story that's keeping you stuck. And so the time and your money and your confidence in yourself, it all is created in your mind with your thoughts. And so if your thoughts aren't super clean and you're having all of these reasons and excuses, it's working with a coach that will allow you to dump those reasons and excuses and really step into the CEO of your life that you're meant to be.
Very well said. Ceri Payne is a certified life coach that grew her business while being a mom to 3 daughters and teaching school full-time. She coaches entrepreneurs to organize, schedule, and use their time with purpose and intention so they can grow their business without sacrificing health, sleep, or relationships. And that is very, very important. If you want to connect with Ceri, the best way is to follow her on Instagram. Her tag is organizedlife.coach. And we'll have that link on the Rebelpreneur website as well. Ceri, it's been a real pleasure to get to know you. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. It's been my pleasure.
You've been listening to Rebelpreneur Radio with Ralph Brogden. Download the show notes and much more at rebelpreneur.com.